What's up, guys? Pikachu's cousin here, bringing you a PU Wi-Fi battle against somebody from the Smogon Wi-Fi Battle Finder with a name that I don't know how to say. And you might see that I have a Leafeon and a Raichu on my team, and they are new additions to the PU tier, so I figured why not try them out. But yeah, let's get into this battle. And as you probably thought, he's going to lead off with his Beedrill, so I figured it's probably a toxic spike setup, so I'm going to lead off with my Nancy. But he goes for a U-turn, and that lets me know that he's choice scarfed. And I just went for the heat wave as he switches into the Minun, which is a specially defensive wall, and it takes it like a champ. Better than you would expect a Minun to take that. I've never battled against one before this, but I'm just gonna switch into my Muck because I don't want to take a toxic, and I don't want to switch into my Sandshrew fearing a possible hidden power ice. And he does go for the toxic, so that's great for me. And he goes for a Volt switch here. Doesn't do too much because I do have some special defense investment. And he goes into the Sandshrew, and I should have seen that obvious switch coming and go for the Ice Punch, but I do go for a Poison Jab, and I do get the poison. So, you know, that's fine with me. And I'm going to switch out into my Leafeon as he goes for a Super Fang, which I thought was kind of cool because I didn't know that Sandshrew could learn Super Fang. So yeah, that was a learning experience. But he's going to switch out, and I'm going to predict the switch and set up a Wish. And he switches into his Beedrill here. This Beedrill, man, thorn in my side the whole time. And I'm going to go for a Protect to scout out what he's doing and absorb my Wish. And as always, you know, he goes for the U-turn. What else do those things do? So I'm going to switch back into my Muck to take the U-turn because it's resisted and I know it's not going to do much at all. And he goes for that U-turn and switches out into his Girafarig, and I was like, shit. Alright, well, I need to switch. So I switch into my Sandshrew for some reason. I think I really wanted to get a Toxic off on him, because I know that those things are special attackers, and if they set up a Calm Mind, they're trouble. As you can see, he sets up the Substitute and then goes for the Calm Mind. And I go for the Earthquake here just to see if it would take out his sub, and it does, which is great. But, you know, at the same time, he's just going to go for another sub, and I'm going to go for a Toxic, so we're not really getting anywhere here. So he misclicks and goes for a Substitute, which is pretty shitty, because I'm going to go for my Earthquake and take out his sub. And now I'm going to switch out, I believe. I switch out into my Dustox, my special defensive wall. And he goes for a Hyper Voice, and it does almost half. Almost. And now we're just taking our leftovers. And he's going to go for a Psyshock. I stayed in because I thought for some reason that I would outspeed him. I don't know the base speed of Dustox or Girafarig, so I don't know. Kind of a shitty play on my part, but whatever. So now I'm like, shit, I need to outspeed him. So I go into my Raichu and go for a Thunderbolt. And I do get the Parahax, which is pretty cool. And I do get the full Parahax, which is even cooler, I guess, depending on your view of hacks. Anyway, he's going to switch out into his Minun and go for the Thunderbolt. I go for the Thunderbolt, and it does a decent chunk to this Minun. So yeah, but I can't take him out with Thunderbolt, so I switch out into my Sandshrew, thinking that he was gonna go for a Toxic, and I don't want to get a Toxic on my Raichu. Nobody wants to get a Toxic on their Raichu. But he's gonna switch out and go into his Lumineon. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I predict a switch and set up my Stealth Rocks. Now I'm gonna switch out into my Muck because he's got good special defense, so I figure I can take a Surf or an Ice Beam. And he goes for an Ice Beam, and he gets a crit. And then he goes for Surf, and to add to the overkill, he gets another crit. Oh, them's the breaks sometimes, right? So I'm switching to my Raichu, and I go for the Thunder? No, I predict the switch and set up my nasty plot. And now I'm thinking I might be able to take out this Minun, or at least two-hit it. So I go for a Thunderbolt. And oh, it's a two-hit KO. And then he sets up a Toxic, and I was like, shit, am I gonna be able to take him out now? I really had no idea. But he starts doing all the protect shenanigans, and stupidly I go for a hidden power. I should have just set up a nasty plot, because what do you do after you Toxic? You protect. Everybody knows that. But I go for another Thunderbolt, and oh my god, oh god. He lives with a sliver of health, but he goes for a Volt Switch. He probably didn't know that Raichu carries Lightning Rod, so now I'm at +3, but I'm Toxic, so that's not very good. So I'm going to switch out now, because I want to be able to preserve my Raichu. So I'm going to switch into my, whatchamacallit, Leafeon here, as he goes for a Protect, just wanting to get some leftovers. And he goes for a Toxic, and I don't really care at all, because I'm go for the Heal Bell, trying to get the Toxic off my Raichu. So what does he do here? I can't remember. This is a pretty old battle. Oh yeah, I go for the Leaf Blade, and he just dies. Finally, this freaking Minun. Who would have thought that Minun would be such a beast? But he goes into his Beedrill here, and I switch out into my freaking Sandshrew to take whatever move he's going for, because I'm max defense Evilite. And he U-turns into this Tropius, and I was like, oh crap. What am I gonna do? So I decide to go into my Chatot, and I take the Seed Bomb like a beast, because Chatot is a boss. If you have never used a Chatot, give it a try. And I go for the Stab Life Orb Hyper Voice, because I figure it would probably do more than the Heat Wave, but I wasn't sure. And it's not going to be enough damage to take him out, so he goes for the second Seed Bomb, and he takes me out. And I'm going to go into my Raichu, go for a Hidden Power Ice, 4 times effective, going to be more than enough to take out this Tropius. Raichu he is doing some work this match. I'm really enjoying using him in the PU tier. But he goes into Beedrill, and I don't want to take a U-turn, so I switch out into my Sandshrew. And as we all know, Beedrill goes for the U-turn, and he's gonna switch into Lumineon? I don't know how to say it, but he goes for an Ice Beam, and I don't know why I stayed in here. I really wanted to get a Toxic on this guy, but that doesn't happen. So I go back and try and scare him out with my Raichu. But I'm so stupid. I went for the Thunderbolt, and I should have went for the Hidden Power Ice, because that would have took his Sandshrew out. To be honest, I had completely forgotten about his Sandshrew. But anyway, I'm going to switch into my Leafeon, and he's going to go for the Rapid Spin to get rid of those rocks. I don't know. It's so late in the game, I don't really think it matters that much. But anyway, I'm going to go for a Wish for some reason. I honestly don't know what my train of thought was right there. As he sets up his own Stealth Rocks, and he's almost dead to the Toxic, so I'm going to go for a Leaf Blade and just end his misery. And he goes back out into this Beedrill, and I'm going to protect just to see if he's going to go for a U-turn or a possible X-Scissor, and he does go for the X-Scissor. So I figure I can take probably 2, because he's not Choice Banded, and I'm going to hit him with a Leaf Blade to see how much that does. I know it's not going to do much, but I do get a crit, which is shitty for him, but, you know, whatever. And I take another X-Scissor, just barely, with 4 health, get off my Wish, and I'm going to go for the Protect as he switches into his big fish that I can't remember what it's called. And I get my Wish, so I'm back to just over half health with the leftovers. But I don't know why I stayed in here. Because that Wish was just pointless, because he went for an Ice Beam, and annihilates me. But I figure, you know, I'm gonna lose, but I'm not gonna go down easy. I'm gonna bring in my Raichu, live the rocks, take out this Lumineon. Ah, God, I feel like a retard when I say that. With my Thunderbolt, and then die to the Life Orb. So that was a really fun match. I had a great time playing it, and you know, as always, see you next time. Peace out.